What's happening, guys? And welcome back to the channel. And George, Chelsea's pre-season matters are now concluded. Obviously, you've got the small matter of the Super Cup on Wednesday night before we head into Crystal Palace on the opening day of the season. The pre-season campaign, I think, fairly successful. We beat Peterborough 6-1, beat Bournemouth 2-1, beat Arsenal 2-1, and then had a 2-2 draw with Spurs. So I know pre-season is not about results, but it's great that we didn't lose any of those games in pre-season. I think some players got some important minutes under their belts. What did you think of the pre-season campaign as a whole?
Yeah, it's always difficult pre-season coming on the back of a tournament because you don't get the same flow as you would with when England or the Euros or World Cup isn't featuring. Obviously there's a lot of players missing for us that would normally feature in the pre-season, but with any pre-season, mate, the most important things are obviously injury-free, which seems to be that we don't have any long-term injuries, which is great news for us, and that Thomas Tuchel has a chance to see as many players as possible, and I think he's done that with a lot of rotation in the games that we've played so far. Yes, results aren't important, but it is good that Chelsea continued the unbeaten run, and we're looking strong going into the Super Cup because momentum is key in football, as we all know. I didn't get to watch a lot of it, I think mainly due to the broadcasting rights. I don't have Chelsea TV anymore, so I wasn't able to watch it, but I have watched a lot of the highlights, and I've been impressed with a few players that maybe have gone under the radar. Particularly the first half performance from Hakim Ziyech in the Spurs game, getting a couple of goals, looking sharp. Actually, one that surprised me in one of the games, I think it was Bournemouth, was Danny Drinkwater. I think he played quite a good first half of football there as well. So, look, you'll always get players that feature and then you probably won't see again for the rest of the season. A couple of youngsters in there also doing a very good job for Chelsea. So, all in all, we're well prepared, and I'm looking forward to the season to come.
Yeah, I think it was good to see the likes of, I think Dujon Sterling did pretty well when he featured, another young player from the academy. I thought Tino Aneurin also looked sharp when he featured. So there's a possibility we may see one or two of those involved in the first team squad, or possibly going out on loan to gather a bit more experience. As you said, George, it's kind of a big season for quite a few players. You mentioned Hakim Ziyech. It was great to see him performing well, particularly against Spurs. Do you think that will set him up nicely for this season coming? And how big a season is it for him, given he kind of struggled a little bit in his first season?
Yeah, I think for him, Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, I think it's a big season for all of them because we didn't see the full potential of those three players that came in. So I think for Ziyech more than the other two, I think he's got. I've said it before. I think he's got till January or possibly the end of the season to really kickstart his Chelsea career. If not, I think it's going to go in the other direction, and a bit of a mistake on our part to sign him. So he's on that cusp. We know he's got a great left foot, but I think we may have bought him a bit on the premise of a good performance at Stamford Bridge when he tore us apart with Ajax, and a good season, let's say, there. But other than that, I think he was a bit of an unproven source. But yes, it's a huge season for him. I think physically he needs to, get a bit more into shape into the game of the Premier League. But yeah, it's a good problem to have because he's got the quality, as we've seen in some of the pre-season games with that left foot. It's quite very dangerous when he cuts inside. He's got great pace. I think Thomas Tuchel, would certainly feature him. He'll be in and around the squad. So yeah, it's a big season for him. There's no doubt about that.
And in terms of kind of the outgoings, obviously it's well known that Chelsea need to kind of ship on quite a few players. I'm sure a number of those featured in pre-season. Do you think any of those put themselves in the shop window, kind of increase their price possibly? The likes of Tammy Abraham, I think Bakayoko, obviously probably going to move on, Drinkwater, Batshuayi, etc. Do you think we're going to struggle to find takers for these players?
I don't think so, because I think someone like a Batshuayi, I think all the mid-table low-end clubs are going to look for a number 9 of some sort, and someone who's been in the Premier League, and I think they could get him on fairly cheap. The Tammy one's interesting because I think he's an asset that I think a lot of clubs will be after as a first-team player. I would personally like to see him go out on loan, but I think a £40 million for Tammy Abraham's quite a good deal. I think if you look at it in the context of what he's produced at Chelsea so far and how young he is. the likes of Bakayoko, Drinkwater. I think those are the players that we're going to struggle to offload and gain a profit from. Probably going to have to take a bit of a hit there. And it's going to be hard to offload some of those players because they'll be on those premium wage packages that other clubs just won't offer them. So very similar to that Danny Rose situation at Spurs, where they probably want to leave, but it's about finding the right middle ground between what the club wants and what the player wants. So it's becoming a bit of a story, isn't it, that actually offloading players becomes more difficult than bringing them in. But Chelsea definitely have to trim that squad down. I think we've got a lot of players that need to get off the books.
Yeah, 100%. As you mentioned, when we sign these players on big contracts and then they kind of end up being surplus to requirements or not as good as we thought they were going to be, it does prove pretty hard shipping them on because they're not going to get the wages they're on anywhere else. And why would they want to leave when they're picking up X thousands a week? They're not going to take a pay cut, are they? So, I think we kind of have struggled in that area, which I think is why so many players go out on loan and eventually we end up losing them on a free when their contracts expire. But George, do you think this, just to wrap up, do you think this pre-season's kind of set us in good stead for the upcoming season? Would you like to see us play more games or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think with the Super Cup and with everything that's been going on, we're obviously still in the pandemic, and it was nice to have something that was, well, you could call it home based. I mean, rather than going, like we've done before with the USA or the Asia tours. Nice to be grounded and not too far away. Playing competitive teams as well. I mean, Bournemouth would have been in front of us. They played last night or Friday night, I can't remember. So I'm very happy with the pre-season, and actually I'm very excited by the squad. I don't think we needed that much tweaking. I think we both said that we just needed really a centre forward. That would be the biggest target, and it looks as though that deal's going to happen. So, we're champions of Europe, so we're doing something right. I don't think much needed to change, and providing that we don't get any big injuries before the start of the season, I'm very happy with the squad, and I think we can push that extra step now that we've got that number 9 deal over the line.
Yeah, I think 100% agree, mate. I think the one thing we needed was a number 9. We've addressed that now. Just the formalities to be completed on Lukaku's return. That's going to be a massive, massive plus. The squad has got great strength. I really do think we've got the best squad in the league, bar Manchester City's. And we've got a lot of options. And there's more than enough now for us to put a serious title challenge together. No more of this, scraping into the top 4 on the last day of the season business. We need to try and put something together where we can challenge throughout the duration of the season for that league title, because it's been a while now since we've kind of challenged for the league and won it. So I think this season's a big season for that. Hopefully we can put something together whilst adding another major trophy to the cabinet. That never goes amiss. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on the pre-season so far. What are your expectations for Chelsea this season? Can we put a title challenge together? Can we win the league? Let us know your thoughts. As always, smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified when new content drops. And we'll catch you in the next video.